Live.
Okay, we are live. It's
Little-
working.
Yay. Good
Yes. Yeah. So we had some technical little issues there, but we got it.
job. Did
I'm,
it.
yes, I'm so glad you're here. Just start telling us in the comments where you're listening from. So we are excited. I'm so excited for you to meet Mary today. We have such a unique story of how we met, and God just brought our paths together. So I'm so excited to share that
Yeah.
story with you. And so I love getting to know you a little more. So tell me, if you could hire somebody to help you, would it be with cleaning, cooking, or yard work? And
I want to hear what they say.
yeah, so tell us in the comments here, which one would it be? Cooking, cleaning, or yard work? You'll have to post in the comments. Hopefully we didn't lose you.
Well, I know my answer, so I
Okay.
will tell you mine. I would love to find someone to help me clean. The hard part about it, though, is that you get someone to clean and say it's every week, every 2 weeks. It's the in between when it gets messed back up that almost causes more frustration. So
Right.
it might be just easier to clean it myself on weekends and deal with the mess in between, I think.
Right. And two, for me, I'd probably have to clean it up before they get there to clean. So.
Oh, you do. You definitely do because cleaning people don't put away your clutter.
Right.
Clean like counters and they clean things, but they don't unclutter. So
right. Yeah, that's what I need help with is the clutter
and that one. Yeah.
all this stuff. Yes. So yeah, so I'm like I said, I'm excited to introduce you to Mary. So Mary just moved here in January, right?
Yeah, we moved from Connecticut to
Connecticut.
Alabama, January 7th. We closed on our house.
Yes. And so it ended up, Mary started going to the same church that we do, but we never really met. We have different services and we maybe just saw each other in passing, but didn't know each other. And then my husband one day, he was on Facebook, and you know how it shows people you might know. So Mary's name came up on that list, and he's like, "This lady, she has a shop," and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And she goes to church with us. So I reached out to her and I said, "You want to have coffee? I have a little shop too, so we can get to know each other."
Yeah. It was funny. It was really a funny thing because it wasn't just that I hadn't met you yet. I've hardly met anybody at all. I mean, we just started going and it's so easy to go into church and you look around and then you leave. I mean, if you don't really know very many people. So we joined a small group right away, which thankfully they were just signing back up again. And we totally took a shot, but ended up in a wonderful small group where we just got to meet 3 other couples.
Yeah.
And then, of course, those people sent me a Facebook request. And the next thing I know, Facebook is showing me people. And then I got the message from you. And it was like so funny because honestly, I really didn't even think about friends yet. Like I just came here. So it's not like I'm in the lonely stages yet or
Right.
anything like that. I mean, I've just been so busy every weekend trying to put our house together and get my business running as soon as I moved in that it was totally a God thing that I would be befriended by somebody like you to just say, hey, let's be friends. I'm a business owner. And that is, you know, I think we all have our love language of what we love. And I've read the book or I've done the test, but business friends was not one of those 5 love languages. It is most definitely what my heart is about. And women in business just mean, you know, someone like you who can understand the ins and outs of it is just such a wonderful blessing. So that was all God right there.
Yes, it was, because I had just been praying just for a friend that understands me. And it's so neat how God does bring just the right friends in our life, you know, right when we need them. And even if we don't think we need them, he knows exactly what would be encouraging to us and just help us along. So I love connected our paths. And then you've got a friend in Michigan named Pamela.
Yeah,
and
my bestie, well, you know, my dearest friend from the Michigan time frame of our lives, name is Pamela. And she also is a business owner. And we share that in common. We always have. It's just been, besides Jesus, it's been our big common thread. And so, just the fact that God found me a friend named Pam, just almost, it almost made me laugh.
Yes, and I've got to talk to Pamela online, so I just love her too. So we're just all
Let's
instant.
explain. So not only did you own your own business and I own mine, but we are in the exact same business groups, which is unheard of because there are so many to choose from on the internet. But when I heard, I was like, what? You're in the same business group as I am? Like, I literally ran to my car after we had lunch and texted him, like, where are you? I have to tell you this. Not only is this lady go to my church, love the Lord, and live in my town, but she's in the same business groups that we are in. So our teaching and our understanding of concepts is in the same exact school of how we do this.
Right. And we can just talk to each other and just have conversations, and we totally understand exactly what the other is trying to do. So it's just been so fun to get connected. So yeah, I want you
to be on here today. This is fun.
Oh yes, I love it. So we're just having a conversation, and I want you to join us in the conversation if you have comments and just want to share. Just feel like you're just getting your cup of coffee and joining us. So so Mary, I want you to tell us a little bit about a great baby and just how that started. And I know you're just so passionate about mom, and so I want to hear about that.
So it's a long story that I'll make short for you. I actually was a stay-home mom working from home when that was not a thing yet. I have 3 grown children now, but when they were young, I was the mom who was, well, we were an Army family. And so my husband would travel a lot, and I have loved sewing since I was 5 or 6 years old. I've just always sewn and created things. So back when there was no a great baby, there was my great babies, and I made them their baby clothes. It was just a dream of mine to be able to create things that other people would like. It's something I think that Pam and I have even talked about. It's something born in you at a very young age that, I mean, I was making jigsaw puzzles and greeting cards for people when I was a child. So fast forward through motherhood, fast forward through many, many different kinds of businesses. Like I made dance costumes for a while, and for a long while. And I would do any kind of sewing that people would ask me to do. But the main story is the same. I was able to stay home, raise 3 kids, stop when they needed me, entertain them when they didn't, and keep sewing and keep helping our family as my husband got out of the Army and went to college and worked full times and worked nights and all the things that all these young moms go through. So when I became a grandma, I was just kind of missing making children's clothing. It's always been my heart. My favorite thing to do would be to design little children's clothing. So I had missed it, and I saw this idea for printed baby leggings. And we had our first little grandgirl. I think she was about 6 months old. And I thought, oh my goodness, I already own a company and I work on the side. What am I going to do?
Let's start
I couldn't stop myself. I texted my husband at work and said, don't get mad. I'm buying the equipment to make these printed clothing. And I don't even know if he answered me before I had already put in my order. It was just like, I'm doing this. And I began making these little baby leggings. And it wasn't long at all after starting an Instagram page for it and showing this little baby leggings that people started saying, oh my goodness, I love that. Could you put that on a blanket for me? Well,
of course.
Later, of course, that's what I did. And I sold the other company to my best friend, Pamela. So she owns A Great Impression. That was the original company that I owned. And now I started A Great Baby. Well, I owned 2 at one time. Another confusion story. But in all of that, what I have found was my passion has always been about reaching moms, young moms. And now I have 3 daughters who are completely the vision of who my person is. So ministering to these young moms, one of our daughter-in-laws is a military wife. She's married to my son, who is an army guy. And one of our daughters is a single mom. So I'm super passionate about that, and I'll go into that more. And then our other daughter, Jessica, she has 3 little kids. She gave us our first 2 grandkids. We have 6. We have 6
Yeah.
grandkids.
Congratulations.
Each baby has taken me through a whole other line of blankets that I have designed for them. So our oldest grandchild is 7 now, and our youngest is 20 months. And in between have been all the models and babies and moms to love on. And what it really comes down to is I just love families. I love to create things for them, and it kind of makes me feel anyway like I get to be this mom figure, this grandma figure to my friends and my followers, so that I can hear from them. Like, I listen to them. What are you doing your nursery like? And how are you designing this? And what are you into right now? So studying their trends has just been super fun.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the business we're doing is getting to know people I would have never met before. And so it's been a lot of fun just to connect with people. That's probably
Isn't
my
it
favorite.
amazing? It's such a God thing. I mean, because behind the screens of those Instagram accounts that we can try to make look pretty, behind the scenes is that messaging. And I have met, and Pamela has told me the same, and I'm going to guess it's the same with you. I have met some wonderful people who we end up praying together, praying
Yeah.
for each other, and encouraging each other on, all
Mhm.
because of owning a business.
Right. Right. And I wouldn't have met them probably any other way.
Yeah. I mean, I have people on my homepage of my personal Facebook account because we literally have become that good of friends. One of my closest friends right now is a woman I met through Instagram, through buying my products. We ended up sharing our hearts with each other and now are just dear, dear friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And we were talking the other day and just how passionate you are about just young moms and giving back, to the community. I know you give a blanket when somebody buys a gift or a baby blanket, you give one. So
Yeah, the first year we did give 1 for 1, and then this year I switched it up because we have so many products that I thought I can't just give when they give a blanket. So I reevaluated it, and now we're doing the math just a little bit, and it's turning out to be almost exactly the same. Last year, we gave away, just finished this out, we just finished our accounting for the year last year, 1,135 blankets
wow.
to families who we call it just kind of needed an extra hug.
Yes.
I had begun this right before the pandemic hit. I had just began in January of 2020 with this thing we call a great hope. And so a little background on what a great hope is. Through the years, those messages back and forth behind the scenes that I'm talking about in Instagram and Facebook had me so often saying, oh my gosh, I just need to send this lady a blanket. Oh, this one is just really hurting over here and I'm praying for her. We're going to send her a blanket. But all those good intentions and all those good hearts, when you're a busy businesswoman, I mean, you're putting on the I'm making blankets today hat, and now I'm doing marketing hat and doing all these things for
Yes.
the glory of God. I was sometimes forgetting little things, and it was bothering me very badly. But my heart has always been to give. And so throughout the years, our own family had our own stories. I mean, I had a daughter-in-law who, well, I only have one daughter-in-law, but our son and daughter-in-law struggled with infertility for years before they even told us that they were struggling about it. They were keeping that pain to themselves. And then, thankfully, I know this isn't everyone's story, but they were able to conceive a baby, and he is now turning 5 this summer. That's one of our stories. That same family, when they had their second child, he was not doing well, and he was very sick in the NICU, and so we've got a NICU story in our family line. And then we had our daughter unexpectedly and unplanned get pregnant right after college, and she was taking a medication that was very, very dangerous to the life of that child.
Mm.
And all the prayers and the suggestions for her were to terminate that pregnancy because they want to give you a complete overview of what you're facing. And
Right.
making those choices along that road with our daughter intimately really just changed my heart. I'm going to get choked up talking about it, but yeah, it just changed. Had we not loved and served Jesus and been begging him for a miracle, I don't know what I would have done. And through all of that, with every yes that he stamped on our passport, every yes that he said, thankfully said yes to for us, my heart was changed. And I said, okay, now, oh, and that baby I'm talking about, the last one is taking a nap right now. And she's in our care this weekend. So her mom can have a little bit of a break. So she is just a dynamic blessing in our family that we adore, just truly adore her. And with every one of those yeses, God had just put a yes on my heart that my giving back was going to be made formal. It was going
Right.
to be made real and be made in a stretch of a way for a business owner, because it's not easy to always fulfill this commitment. But what I do is seek out organizations who help women say yes, and who foster families, and to adopt babies, and also to an infertility center who I got to know, because I want to celebrate life in every form
Yes.
by the way of a baby blanket.
Yes. I love that story and just how it's so real in your story. It's played out it's very personal and
It
your
is.
life.
I think that when God gives you a job to do, he gives you a story to tell it.
Yes. Yes. That's great. And I love just the impact that you're making and that we get to do this together. We're not alone.
I do too. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I
And
love this shirt because this shirt just is from Pam's shop. It's from Sadie and Jane. And it says, I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. So a little story behind this shirt of why I picked it was, when my kids were little, they are now 32 and 30 and 26. We had the Sandy Patty soundtrack of music. And so it was just so sacred in our home. I mean, I wanted to raise these kids up in the Lord. And this song was just a staple in my mind on bad days. We would sing that song like so many of us did.
yes.
It's still something I like to live by. I just love the joy of the Lord, even in hard times, can give us so much outside. Goodness gracious, if we turn the TV on right now, there is no joy to be found, hardly. When we look inside our families and we look inside our own stories, there is so much joy in the Lord.
Yes, I love that. And the joy that we have is like burning inside of us just to get out. I know
Yeah.
for so long, it's like, I need a way to share this. And so I love that it just overflows out of us and we can spread that joy. And that's one of the reasons why, we started Sadie and Jane. It's like, I love that we sell these t-shirts and pretty gifts that are meaningful, but more than that, we want to help you feel confident in sharing your faith.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. It's such a subtle way to do it,
and it just starts conversations very easily. And so I love that's why we do what we do. And that's why we
Yeah.
wanted to bring on, all of our friends and guests and share them with you and just help you feel more confident in sharing your faith and just grow in your relationship with God. So I thank you so much, Mary, for sharing your
Yes.
story. And
Yeah.
I just appreciate it. And I hope you've enjoyed it with us. So
Well, thank you for being a light for God. I think I say over you that he will bless you for this. I just know that not a word is unheard when it's bringing glory to the Lord. So I thank you for bringing his light out into homes, into women's days, because that's a beautiful thing.
yes, well, thank you. I'm just so excited to just be a part of this story. So Thank you for coming on. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your Wednesday. So we'll
Yeah.
see you for now.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.